here we are. It is the end of the road, the end of RazorwireReviews Rewind. We've gone all the way back from 2025 to 2011. This ain't quite right. I can't do the final intro like this. Let's do it a bit more properly. Let's try and put a bit of pizzazz into this, shall we? And let's actually try and do this without knocking over all my equipment here. Let's do this in a way that kind of shows you the evolution of my style of filming videos from across the years. Let's get the microphone going. You should now be able to hear my voice a lot more clearly. Let's frame the camera here and get a bit of a zoom going. Actually, it'd be better if I sit more in the middle here. We're setting this up in real time. How's that? Don't like that. See, we could be here for a while, me trying to find an angle that suits me, but for maybe for the ease of doing this video, I might just settle with an okay frame for this final introduction for RazorwireReviews Rewind. Can you tell I'm stalling? Because I'm trying to get this nice transition going. This isn't even a nice transition, but that'll do. All right. There you go. The evolution of filming over the past 15 years, which you'll see as we get into the actual flashback of this episode, and the camera isn't even focusing. So that is an interesting point. Can we get that there? There's my hand, my wrinkly knuckles. Here we go. Okay. So, I'll readjust the microphone again. This is all stuff I do before filming, and it can take a while sometimes. But hello and welcome to this slightly skew-if angle, but we'll roll with it because it's certainly a lot better than my very first video that was posted 15 years ago today. So we're going to be looking back at my first ever video, not for its importance as a kind of a notable video I made in 2011, but merely for the fact that it's the first video that I posted to my channel. I've told the whole story in my 10-year anniversary video of how I got into YouTube, why I got into YouTube, and all the ins and outs, and probably all the drama and stuff like that too. And you know, to reflect a little bit here, it is kind of wild to me where the YouTube journey has taken me in terms of my personal life. Not that it's affected my personal life hugely, but certainly to a little bit with the friends that I've made over the years. And I don't want to start naming a whole bunch of people because then you leave people out. But I mean, there's people who I'm not really close with or kind of great friends with, but who I'll always have a fondness for, and we'll still talk from time to time. People like Chris at CM42 TV goes right back to 2011 when he was like a kid, basically, probably like 13 years old or something. And I was in my early 20s, I think, when I started the channel. Just a baby myself, really, when I think back and look at the video you're about to see. I really should have opened this with, all right, guys, RazorwireReviews here, and do a blog. and I'll bring out a, oh yes, today I'll be talking about Mick Foley's Greatest Hits and Misses, the new set from Silvervision. I don't think this is even, yeah, it was Silvervision still back then. That I got in 2004. That's that 22-year-old DVD set. Anyway, yeah, friends that I've made, you know, and some of the best friendships of my life, really. You know, people like Matt, you got James, Robbie, Ryan, Sean, you know, just some really great friends that I've made. Friends that I've made and fallen out with and lost, and, you know, that's just the way that life goes sometimes, and, you know, you can't really dwell on these things, and it's interesting to discover that there's still things you can learn no matter how old you are, and important lessons come through these kind of online relationships sometimes, which can be kind of painful, and ultimately, you know, you learn from them, I think, a little bit. Anyway, lots of viewers over the years too, and those who kind of, they've dipped in and out, and they resurface sometimes, and you get new viewers and new commenters, and you'll see the same kind of faces in the profile pictures, and new ones all over again. You get the trolling comments, the negative comments, the stupid comments, the nice comments, and the amazing comments sometimes from people who, I mean, there was a guy who was saying that our Yes Trip videos inspired him to go to America on a trip, and he met his wife, and so he's very fond of those videos, which seems like, well, you're just making that up, right? Because it just seems like kind of like there's no way that, my videos could have that kind of effect. But as I've said before, when talking about things like this, it's nothing special on my part. It's just kind of the way people's lives kind of move sometimes, and just the slightest little thing can be like, oh, maybe I should do something like that, and then that leads you down one road, and that road takes you further down to something else that ends up being fairly significant. So it's just a nice thing. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's not like it's, oh, well, that must have been such an amazing thing that I made that has inspired someone. It's not that. It's just kind of a nice little kind of, byproduct of, putting stuff out there, I suppose, and finding like-minded people and like-minded commenters. And I think as I've gotten older and as I'm approaching my 40s now, realizing that I'm like almost definitely probably on the autism spectrum myself, and seeing that in my daughter, and then kind of thinking about my own behavior and the things that I've done as a kid and the things that I struggle with now, I think, oh yeah, I probably fall under that somewhere. And, being able to sit in front of a camera and just waffle on for fucking ever about just the most inane stuff. Sometimes I look at it, I think, like, who the fuck is watching this? Like, who are you people? Why are you watching this? And actually finding anything, to get out of it. And maybe maybe you are on the spectrum too, or not. I don't know. Maybe it's just a taste thing. Maybe people self-diagnose too much, but trust me, there's some weird things about the way my mind works. I realize now is not quite, as they would say, neurotypical, which then makes my daughter's particular struggles all the more kind of like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense, and you look at the family history and stuff, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's fascinating. I think it's just, people tend to, look at me, I'm going into this whole fucking thing before I even get to just this stupid little, hey, look at my first video. But some people are, everyone's got autism, everyone's got ADHD now. But I think it's just a general awareness seems to be rising amongst kind of just society, and I think that's a good thing. But I look at some of the weird quirks that maybe my grandfather had, and thinking, like, oh, that's weird. It's a weird thing. That's not normal. So you see these family traits that, like, oh, that's probably, and things that, my dad struggles with, or like things that are kind of almost unexplainable flaws that I struggle with. And I feel like, why the fuck do I do that? And I think like, oh, it's the same thing he does. Why? And then I see my son, and I'm seeing inklings of things that like my dad did and that I do. I'm like, motherfucker, like genetics are a weird fucking thing. Anyway, my whole point to go back to is that I didn't really see any of that when I was younger, when I started this channel, and it's been such a great outlet for me to just, I guess, be myself. And I've talked about this before where, hey, this is a performance. Like, me in front of a camera, it's a performance. Like, this isn't how I am in real life. I don't talk to people like this, because if I did, they would just be like, what the fuck, just stop. Like, why are you going on and on about this thing? I don't care. Or you just see it written all over their face that they're not interested in what you're talking about. I'm so measured in how I interact with everyone in my life, and I always hold back something because I don't want to seem like I'm too much, and I've just been thinking about it the past few weeks, like maybe this channel, maybe me sat here now is the real me. I don't know. I almost don't know anymore. For years I thought to myself, it's a performance. It's like when you have a presenter on a TV show. Like that clip with the young Justin Bieber, when this guy's like, hey, so Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber's like, why do you talk like that? Like, hey, I'm this. Just totally calls the guy out on his like ridiculous fake chipper kind of tone. But to kind of be a presenter or something, it is kind of a performance. It's a performative kind of thing. But I don't know. I think about it now and I think, I don't know, maybe there's just a bit more truth to it. I still think there's some performance in it. Because I do try and, I don't know, I guess I try and quip on things and whatever else. But I like to do that in general. I like to try and make myself laugh with little just jokes and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not going to psychoanalyze myself any further than I already have. But I thought it was just interesting thinking about it and thinking about, because I've been looking through all my videos and seeing the changes and the things that don't change, and it's just it's an interesting world. And I already mentioned my daughter and her autism. I mean, today was actually the day. I didn't even think about this. Today was the day we got the official diagnosis that she's on the spectrum. And you think that'd be a big moment, but it really isn't, because it's just like, well, yeah, of course she is. Like, we know our daughter inside and out. She's absolutely on the spectrum, but and it's a frustrating and wonderful thing all at once. It's an incredible thing to experience, and difficult too. But that's why I'm looking more inward now. I think is almost to try and maybe understand more, and I don't know. It doesn't really matter, I suppose, because I'm high functioning if that is the case. And if it isn't, then I'm just a real weird motherfucker, you know? Which is fine too. We're all weird in our own ways. Anyway, we're about to go back to my first ever video, which is almost getting a bit emotional. Throughout all the things I've been talking about, but also just looking back, I suppose, and just having a fondness for those times in, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, even 2018, which is such a shit year. But it's a great thing to have this kind of visual record of your life in very small kind of bite-sized forms of things like movie reviews or whatever, or skits, or little whatever they happen to be, vlogs in particular. Actually, it's something I enjoy about modern life, is the ability to have that and to hold on to it and look back on every once in a while. It's not something I do a lot of, so deciding spur of the moment to do this big 15-year anniversary thing and looking through all the videos has been really fun for me, and really illuminating at the same time. A couple of things I've been like, wow, I said that? Fucking idiot, you know. There's quite a few of those things. But anyway, so what we're going to do here, and am I even... Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. I'm getting confused of the last one I did and then this one, the 2012 and 2011 one. So what we're going to do to kind of end this whole thing, though I will say, I found so much shit in the archives. I want to continue doing RazorWire Reviews unreleased, and just posting stuff that I haven't posted, or stuff that has been blocked over the years that I can now post again. And I'll do intros for those as well, to just give a bit of context for some of the things that I'm putting up there. So I want to do more of that this year while it's still the 15th anniversary year. So you'll see more of that in the future, but for these rewind episodes, this will be the last one. And looking back at the first video, as I've already said about 15 fucking times by now, and I'll just show it in all of its awkward, unkempt glory. I remember at the time feeling so confident about it, because I'd just come off of years of wrestling and really coming out of my shyness from my childhood, and feeling a lot more confident in talking in front of other people, doing promos and things like that. I guess that's where I think part of it is a performance, I suppose. But I soon saw, not at the time, but I soon realized, looking back on my videos, how I wasn't very good in front of a camera doing that type of thing for a YouTube audience. And the things that I was making, and yeah, Sean Blackford, if you're watching, I know you still check out some of my... I'll see you like a tweet every now and then. If you happen to see this, I mean, I found the video of me talking about Sean Blackford being a two-faced twat, I think was the name of the video. And I look at it and it's like, fuck, ruthless, like absolutely ruthless. Why would I feel the need to ever make anything like that? You know, even if I felt like it was true at the time. You know, and we made up since then, very shortly afterwards, in fact. And so, you know, I don't have anything bad to say about Sean these days. But it was just, I look back and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what a weird... You get kind of wrapped up in all the trappings of the community and everything, I suppose. And also interesting, look at how now the YWC, which is where my first kind of idea for making this channel was all about, was making wrestling videos, largely seems to be dead now. I'm sure Stevie Breach is still pumping out videos every 13 hours with just like, you know, Brock Lesnar returns to Raw, and it's just him in his car for like 50 minutes talking about whatever he's talking about. But, you know, I'm sure that the YWC as it was doesn't really exist now. It's probably more leaning towards like people on TikTok and influencers. It's the it's the IWC as in the influencer wrestling community. You know, you look at the WrestleMania stage now and you have all these like fans on the ramp, and it's just all these people with their phones, like, you know, like this and stuff, and it's just like, who are these weird people? You know, just I say that there is footage of me filming myself doing the yes chants at WrestleMania 30, but that was more about capturing the experience, you know, and just the feel of it, I suppose. But you know, that wasn't to like, oh, I gotta get this up on Instagram, and like, you know, these people make a living out of it. It's very or tried to make a living out of it. Very strange. I coined the term the triple mark in relation to the Brock Lesnar guy who's just like, he posted this fucking picture. Now I'm going to get into a bit of YWC drama here, or IWC, influencer wrestling community drama. The Brock Lesnar guy, this fucking idiot, right? He's trying to like, he thinks he's like, and I think the same of all these, even like Frank the Clown to a point. The fans who try and make it about themselves a bit, and it's like, what are you doing? And this guy, he posts a picture of himself sat there at Raw, looking all forlorn, and someone's taking it as if like he doesn't know they're taking the picture of him. He's like still processing that Brock Lesnar's retired. I coined the term the triple mark, like the mark who is a mark for themselves being a mark. Like, it's just, what the fuck are you doing? Get a life, kid. so so that whole kind of, you know, internet YouTube wrestling community was, I was drawn into it because I love wrestling and I'll always love wrestling. But and having done wrestling myself and having friends in the wrestling business now, and you know, it's nice to be like, oh hey, how was WrestleMania? My friend's like, oh yeah, I was backstage, and here's this bit of gossip and stuff, and you know, so I feel more connected to it than most. I think, and I still watch it all the time, and you know, I feel like I've got a really good wrestling mind, but I have no outlet to put that out to. And I was thinking, really, should I do like a wrestling channel, even though this started as a wrestling channel? Because I could talk about wrestling all fucking day long, but it's you know, there's only so many hours in the day, and I can waffle on to my friends for a little bit, and then they won't say much back, and I'll be like, okay. That's my wrestling outlet now. It's like, oh yeah, so you see this thing, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I'm like, okay. I feel like, what if I committed to that like early on 2011, and I was one of these like big wrestling YouTubers now. But again, I feel like it leans more towards podcasts now and influencers and things. I just, yeah, you know, and it always seems to just kind of funnel into the negativity, kind of clickbaiting kind of stuff. I used to really like Stevie Richards stuff. You look at his channel now, it's like everything is like, this was awful, this was terrible, this made no sense, and you're like, a bit of a reach, dude. Like, you know, and I feel like I could go on and on about my grievances with YouTube and the way that people clickbait and stuff. I was making points about that back in 2012. Anyway, this has been a clusterfuck of an introduction. This isn't even an introduction. It's this whole video to itself. And this is turning into something of a very long one. But if you stuck with me through this video, if you stuck with me through any video that I've ever made, any era of my channel, if you're new to the channel, if you started in the beginning and you've dipped in and out, you know, one of the videos I almost included in this Rewind series was my unboxing of the Wizards collection, because that Harry Potter box set video, I will still get comments from people saying like, this is how I first found your channel, like way back when. That seems to be like a massive kind of touchstone of people who found my channel and started watching my videos. But you know, for any of it really, and long may it continue. I have no plans to kind of slow down or anything. As long as I have time, I want to be making videos, and I love just talking shit about the things that I enjoy. So yeah, I had a lot more hair back then, that was a lot fuller, and I wasn't in great shape back then either. So that's another interesting to see me get kind of slowly fatter and more comfortable, and then like lose weight, get thinner and stuff, and you know, healthier, and then get fatter again, then get more stressed and get a bit thinner. These are all the things you see when you're looking at yourself through all these things. But generally speaking, it is a great thing for me to have. And I'd always thought like, oh, this would be great if I ever have kids. Like I could say, look, there's all this stuff from throughout my life. But let's be real. Like my son's going to be like, oh, fucking hell, Dad. Like, you talk too much. To which I will say to him, yeah, and you talked non-stop when you were like 3 years old, and it was borderline just like the most annoying thing in the world, even though he is the cutest thing and just the most amazing little kid, as is my daughter. Now that I've talked about them a little bit in this Rewind series, I'd planned on not talking about my kids at all until we got to 24-hour movie marathon 10. But I've kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit in these videos, and that's kind of a reason why I don't make as many videos, obviously, because I'm so busy. But you know, I still find the time, and it's something I love doing. I like having this outlet for myself to kind of maybe be more me, even if I'm just in my room here alone in the office movie room, just venting about shit, or just more often than not gushing about a great film that I've just seen. So yeah, but I do wonder in the future how my daughter and my son, who will have very different views on everything, just by the way their brains work, will think about their dad having like thousands of videos on the internet. Who knows? And in all the archives and the home movies, I mean, it's endless. It really is. And I do get overwhelmed with that sometimes. And here I am, just going on and on and on and on and on, and I'm just seeing it tick over past midnight. It is now the 23rd of April, which I believe was the day. Was that the day I created the channel, or was it the 24th that I posted the first video? I don't know, but I will tailor that to when this video comes out. So this video will come out on the anniversary date, regardless, even if I have to post multiple videos. We'll get there in the end. I'm getting tired. I've already filmed a few videos, so let's bring this thing home. We will all watch together my very first video and laugh at how bad it is. And then there'll be a surprise at the end of that, and there'll be a little epilogue with something a little different. We're going to turn the clocks back even further. Stay tuned.
Hello, greetings, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I do a blog called RazorwireReviews. You can check that out, RazorwireReviews.wordpress.com. Write about Raw, WrestleManias, other shit. And I decided to do some DVD reviews and stuff like that, unboxing, which is what this video is. Although it's not really an unboxing, it's an unpackaging. Yeah, I don't know what it is about these WWE DVD reviews that I like. I like watching them, and it's just like a weird kind of little thing that's going on in YouTube, so I thought I'll get in on that. So today I've got WrestleMania 24. Got off eBay for 10 quid, pretty good, and looking forward to opening it. So when people open these packages, it's kind of like a bit of dead time in the video unless they already opened it. Aha. So here we go, WrestleMania 24. It's the tin edition, which is what I was after. See that there? It's got a little kind of slipcase thing there with a kind of back cover on it. See that? I've been waiting to get this WrestleMania for a while. I've kind of sort of held off on getting the big WrestleMania sets, and I'm just getting a few of them now. That's the back, pretty much the same. So there's some pretty cool matches on there. One of my favourite WrestleManias, mainly because of the arena. I love outdoor WrestleMania arenas, they look really cool. Especially those kind of like, those pillars, the big huge set of WrestleMania 24 is really good. So we got Edge vs Undertaker main event, great match, and you know, it turned out to be Edge's first and only WrestleMania main event. Big Show versus Floyd Mayweather, which is, in my opinion, one of the best celebrity matches they've ever had, because, you know, they're usually shit and this one was actually pretty good. Triple threat, Randy Orton versus Triple H versus John Cena, that was okay. Actually, you know, looking at this card, it isn't really that great overall. I mean, Chavo Guerrero versus Kane. Although I will say there's one match on there, and everyone can agree on this, that is, you know, the best match on the show, and it's a very important match in wrestling history. And that is the Belfast Brawl between Finlay and JBL. I mean, that was just, you know, I was choked up by the end of that. It was just, you know. Also on here we got special features. Complete WWE 2008 Hall of Fame ceremony. That's who's inducted then. That was Rocky Johnson and High Chief Peter Maivia, inducted by their son and grandson respectively, The Rock. Mae Young, the Briscoe brothers, Gordon Soley, Eddie Graham, and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Speaking of which, I think he has a match with Shawn Michaels on the show. I can't really remember. It's also got the pre-WrestleMania 24-man Battle Royal, and so on and so on. But no, really, I mean, the match between Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels is, you know, it's an awesome match, and it just goes to show that Flair can still do it. It's kind of disappointing, really, that he came back after that, because I can't honestly say that anything he's done since he's returned to wrestling since then has been worthwhile. But, you know, I can understand that he spent his whole life doing it, and, you know, why stop, I guess. But it was just a perfect, you know, end. But anyway, so it's a tin edition there, slightly thicker than a normal DVD. Open it up. Inside we've got a film cell, or a replica film cell. This one is of WrestleMania 15. It's Austin dropping an elbow on the back of Shawn Michaels' head. See that there? That's pretty cool. I like these. I like little things like this, just kind of to commemorate certain moments and matches. I've only got one of these. I'm going to try and get some more because there's a few knocking around in sets and so on. So yeah, this is number 79,070. There's a lot of these knocking about. Also inside we have the actual WrestleMania box set itself, which has the full, full slipcase cover. Some really good artwork there. Got Ric Flair, Big Show and Floyd Mayweather, and on the back, CM Punk on his. I think was this his second Money in the Bank win? Maybe his first. Yeah, I think it was his first. Kennedy won 23. Open it up, we've got all the discs there. Always good artwork from WWE, really. They always put together some great artwork and layouts for these sets. And the same, just a little insert there. And so on. So yeah, I'm really happy about this. I haven't watched this WrestleMania in quite some time, so I'm looking forward to watching it again. I'm glad that I've got this now with the little tin and the film cell. So that's about it for now. This is just a kind of test video, just to kind of, you know, kick off my channel. If you want to read any of my wrestling reviews, raw reaction, or the 27 days of WrestleMania, go on www.RazorwireReviews.wordpress.com. And yeah. Put this in my shelf. Yeah, so I'll be back with some more videos, probably showing you some of my modest wrestling DVD collection, and some other reviews, and maybe just thoughts on random shit if I feel like it, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with a video soon.
So there you go. That was the origins of my channel. Was kind of just I don't know how awkward it is, but it's fairly rote stuff about wrestling DVDs. Nothing particularly interesting. I remember going to the toilet once in work at my old job, and just like as I was finishing up, I looked at my phone, looked at my YouTube channel, and it was like 50 subscribers. I was like, wow, 50 subscribers, you know. And every milestone becomes less like, you know, and that's another thing, right? Before we get to this final epilogue bit that I was teasing earlier, I never viewed this as a kind of a career thing or a way to make it. It was purely just like, oh shit, like there's people talking about wrestling and like wrestling DVDs, and I love physical media and collecting. I started buying more wrestling DVDs and getting into that, and I love talking about it and doing collection videos and reviewing DVDs and things like that and just talking about wrestling. It was just a hobby outlet. That was it. And it wasn't like anyone in the YWC at the time was making a big living out of it or anything. And you know, for me, my channel, you know, as much as it's grown over the years, it grows very steadily. It's just, I just gain subscribers by osmosis. If you were to cut out all the subscribers I have who don't watch my videos anymore, or dead accounts, I mean, you wouldn't have many. You really wouldn't. And that's fine by me. I've always said I like the smaller audience. I always wish there were more comments. I always wish there was more engagement. But, you know, because the views to kind of the comment ratios are always pretty sparse. Like there's quite a gulf between them, I think. If a video gets 100 views, you might get one comment. If it gets 1,000 views, you might get maybe 10 comments. I wish that there were more comments to come along with that, because I just love chatting with people, and it's nice to get, and not even like I'm looking for compliments or anything, but just like, oh yeah, that's an interesting point about that film, and here's another film. Like, I like that stuff. I love that stuff, in fact. But I've come across a few people across this whole YouTube journey who view it as it's a way to make it, and to the point where they can't understand or don't even believe me when I say that I'm not in it for that. And they're, well, why else are you doing it? Because I like it, because it's fun. It's a hobby, and I take it fairly seriously. I put a lot of time and work into it, but it's ultimately, there's pocket money from the ads. Every like 4 months or something, I'll get a little bit of money, but it's nothing, nothing monumental or anything. But I will say, I should mention this before we get to the last little clip here for RazorwireReviews Rewind. We are going to go back one more, actually. 2 more, in fact. Bear with me. We're going to end this video with the very first video I ever posted on YouTube in June of 2006. So we're going to go back 20 years to my Sanddog88 account, which was purely just an account I opened on this new thing called YouTube to post my wrestling videos. And the first video I ever posted was a little music video clip of me and my opponent, Alex McConnell, having a match in Newcastle in an upstairs room of a community leisure centre in Newcastle. And from, I think, March 2006. So that match itself is now 20 years old. Crazy to think about. And that was a fairly new acquaintance of mine at the time, Alex McConnell, who is now one of my very best friends, who I still talk to all the time, and was one of the best men at his wedding. So it's fun that that's the first video I posted on my first YouTube account, which wasn't a YouTuber account, because those didn't really exist back then. That form just wasn't around. So that's just kind of a channel I've had to upload stuff, whereas this RazorwireReviews one is a bit different and a bit more personal. But I thought it'd be fun to turn the clocks back to 2006 and watch the very first video I ever posted on YouTube 20 years ago. But I will say this is 001 RazorwireReviews Rewind. There will be a 000 where I want to announce something and talk about something that I think is pretty cool, and maybe ties this whole 15-year celebration thing in a fairly neat little bow. We'll see. But before we get to that final video, which I'll post maybe in a few days, I'll give you some time to digest all of the other stuff that's going on. Here is the very first video from 2006, Sanddog versus Alex McConnell. It was our 3rd match in a very long kind of series of matches we had over the years, all over the country, in Wales, in England, up north in Newcastle, down south in Luton, in Aylesbury. We took our storyline and our feud all around. We became a tag team eventually. We turned on each other, all that kind of stuff, and we had some big epic matches between 2005 2009. This is one of the first ones we had, and it was kind of a little mini blow off, kind of in the early stages of our long storied feud and rivalry. So enjoy.
And I was slip on Sanddog. Oh.